Vicky Marie, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Just put my banner on for a moment. So, first thing I want to say to everyone is I hope you're all well. Hope you're all well. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring about Madeline Soto. In this video, we're going to listen to the new audio. Well, I say they're new. They're not new. They're from last year, from June last year, really, aren't they? May and June, I think. So they're not new calls in that sense, but they're new in the sense that they've just been released. And these are the prison phone calls between Stephan Stearns and his parents. And oh my God, you need to buckle up for these, because I think these calls explain so much psychologically about Stephan and the sort of person he is. And if you look at the way he easily manipulates his parents, he is a master manipulator. He's a passive aggressive. He's a narcissist, but he does it in a very clever way. And I've always felt this maybe about Stephan. All the abuse that he did of Madeline from when she was 8 years old, he did not do it with aggression. He did it with, he's clever. Do you know what I mean? He didn't force Madeline into anything in the physical sense, the aggressive sense. He did force her, but he groomed her carefully, groomed her family. He groomed Jen. He grooms his parents. You can hear it in these calls. The way he literally leads a dance around these parents of his. And what Stephan does, he plays on people who love him, who care about him. And he puts out this aura that he needs looking after. He needs caring for. Nothing he does is intentional. He's just this poor little man baby that everybody ends up feeling sorry for. You can, I think these calls say it so clearly. Now, why these calls have been released, maybe there'll be other calls, because obviously these were, a long time ago. There'll be other calls. I expect he's on the phone to his parents every time he needs money. Money is a big theme through these calls. To me, nearly every time he speaks to them, it's because he wants money for something or he wants something. But he covers it up by saying, "Oh, how are you guys doing?" Anyway, we'll see that as we come to it. But I think it's like a masterclass in manipulation. And his parents, I think his dad is sort of more dawning on him as time goes on. But his mom is just oblivious to it. She wants, this is her little Johnny, well, her little Stephan. She doesn't want to think badly of him. And I understand that. I really do. Also, she's a religious person, so she believes in forgiveness. She thinks that Stephan's way forward. She doesn't believe that he's... she does believe that he's, obviously committed the sex crimes. He can't get away with them because they're clear as day on his telephone. But as far as the murder's concerned, as far as, everything else is concerned, it's everybody else's fault except Stephan's. And she wants to believe what he's... I don't think, and we've seen this so often recently, you can never underestimate the power of the mind when you don't want to accept that something is true. The denial, when somebody you love is accused of terrible crimes, you will latch on, or some people latch on to it's like a drowning man clutching at a straw, clutching onto any little thing that means that maybe your little Johnny is not quite the twat that actually he is. And that's what you can see clearly with Stephan's mum and dad. The dad to a bit of a lesser extent, but sometimes, the dad as well. And then I do think as time goes on, to me, the dad has got this dawning realization, whereas I don't think the mum has that at all. And I feel sorry for her because, I would feel sorry for her, except that I do feel with Stephan's mum, she's so condemning of everybody else. Same with Stephan. Oh, wait till you hear Stephan, Mr. Holier Than Thou. Oh my God, Mr. Prissy. Oh, don't they realise that's criminal offence? Yo, do you know what you did was a criminal offence, Stephan? But anyway, we'll see that as we go through. So there are 13 phone calls. And we'll get through as many as we can in this live. I may not be able to do all of them. They're not long calls, but they're about 15 minutes each. So times that by 15, it is quite a long time. I think I'll probably do it in 2 parts. But we'll just carry on until I need to go and get some lunch. And, or until, I don't know, sometimes if you try and do too much at once, it doesn't go in. But after I've really, we're going to comment on these calls today. I'm going to talk about them. You're going to talk about them in chat, of course. But I am going to upload them all in one long video, just without commentary. So anytime anyone wants to listen to them, because it's always good to listen to them more than once. I've listened to them about 3 times now, and every time I listen to them, you pick up something else that you think, oh my God. I just think they're so revealing about Stephan, about the family dynamics. They just tell us so much psychologically. And the root of this case to me is psychological. Stephan's personality, his way of being, and the ways, and this also explains to me perfectly how he did manage to dupe Jen. And as much as people don't, people can say what they like about Jen, but Jen did not know this was going on. She may not be the mother of the year, but she was duped by this guy, just as his family are duped by him. And probably lots of people are. Watching his lawyer the other day in the video we watched, giggling with him like a schoolgirl. It's just, you just think, oh my God, do you know what your client is charged with? And the evidence against him. Okay, you have to speak to him because he's your client. You don't have to be, giggling with him. But he's clever. He's a very clever man. And he's so manipulative. Anyway, so I want to thank everyone for watching, everyone for subscribing. Please think about subscribing if you're not already subscribed. Don't forget to leave your DNA on the like button, please. And thank you to my members. Thank you to everyone who sent me a super chat, bought me a Ko-fi, PayPal me. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. Thank you so much. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say hello to those of you that are in chat. I can see there's a lot of chatting going on already. Hi to all you lurkers there. Please, all of you, leave whatever comments you like about what you think, as long as you're not attacking me or anybody else. Everyone's entitled to their views. This case of Madeleine Soto, just a little quick reminder, just in case anyone's watching for the first time. Madeleine, 13 years old, disappeared, supposedly after being dropped off at school by her pseudo-stepfather, Stephan Stearns. Turned out she never went to school, was finally found dumped by the side of the road like a piece of rubbish. And it turned out her pseudo-stepfather had, in fact, been sex abusing her since she was 8 years old, at least. And there was photographic evidence on his phone. So, that's the first case that's coming up shortly about his, child P charges. I can't see how he's going to get out of that at all, because of all the evidence is there on his telephone. And although his face is not in any of the photos or videos, there's a distinctive mark on his button mushroom, which will define that these abuse photos was him, because his button mushroom is in full display, and he's got a distinguishing mark on it. So he's not going to get away with that, but we'll see through these calls. I think he thinks he's going to get away with murder, because I think what he's going to say is she actually did it to herself. Now, how anybody strangles themselves, I don't know, because that's supposedly a cause of death, though we've not had that officially from anyone, but we'll see what happens. Okay, Oh, that was the dog making a comment. So let me just say hello to everyone who's in chat. As I say, don't forget to leave your opinions, join in chat. It's a very friendly chat. Everyone's nice to each other. If they're not, it's bang, they're out their trap door. Okay, hi David, hi Mara, hi Barbara. He will be needing a nappy. Hi Laurie. Hi Annie. Yeah, when my tummy starts rumbling and you can hear it, I'll carry on. Oh, Laurie's getting a bus pass. I like salads, but only in summer. And it's too cold now for salad for me. It's got to be hot food for me. Yeah, hopefully you got no butter mushrooms on it. Hi, Angel. Yeah, no butter mushrooms. We don't eat butter mushrooms anymore, do we? Now, I'm going to play the first audio call. Now, I've got to say, you've got to pardon my black sense of humour, but I laughed through this first one when I first heard it. I actually laughed, and then I felt so disrespectful to Madeline, and I'm not being disrespectful to Madeline, but you may know what I mean when you start listening to it. The incredulity in Chris and Debbie Stearns' voices as Stephan's asking, have they found his big purple dragon? I mean, this is breathtaking how childish this man is. This man is nearly 40 years old, and the belongings that he's asking his mum and dad to look for, they're things that children would have. Oh, you know, it's the big purple dragon, or it's everything. He's just a child in his head. And this is what I've always said about him. And he's a child, and he thought he was having a relationship with another child. That's what I think. And Jen mothered him, you know, and he does come over as this like, oh, you know, if we didn't know what he'd done, you know, you could imagine if you met, for a lot of women who are quite motherly. I mean, you know, I think I'm quite motherly, but I don't want a boyfriend that I have to mother. I've got a son that I can mother. He's always going to be my son. I'll mother him probably forever in a way. I've got my dogs. I don't want a man to mother. I want a man who looks after me. I want a man who mothers me. I want somebody who helps me with things. I don't want to be looking after a man. But I do feel like Stephan's a sort of man that a lot of women would quite like. Because sometimes women do have, a lot of women have a motherly instinct. And Stephan is that. So it's only when you look into it more and you think it's passive aggression from Stephan. I bet he never gets aggressive or angry. Whether he got angry with Madeline that night, I don't know. Hopefully we'll find out later in the year, but in his trial. But I bet he never did in normal life. You know, I bet he never showed an aggression, but the passive aggression that emanates from him is absolutely tangible. Oh, God. The dog's after a fly. Oh, there you go. Did you get it? There's a fly roaming around the living room, and the German Shepherd, she's after it. She likes a fly. She'll get it. She'll get it. She's the fly catcher. So yeah, he's so, like, he doesn't get aggressive, and the other thing that he does that you'll notice through these audios, he makes it up as if it's you who wants to do something. So it's like, oh, well, if you want to buy me such and such, or if you want to put some money in my account, well, if you want to, like, you're doing it because you want to, but it's for him. It's all about him. And every time he rings, there's not a call where he doesn't mention his money going into his commissary or something for him. But anyway, so yeah, exactly. No, yes, exactly, David. Black humour. I laughed through this first one. I may laugh again now. Now, luckily, I've watched it once, so I may have got the laugh out. So I felt a little bit guilty about laughing because at the end of the day, we're talking about a young girl who died. But it's just so ridiculous. I thought, God, if you put it in a film, like people think, oh, that can't happen. But anyway. Oh, Annie. Oh, maggots. Oh, no. Well, Joe, so just to talk about the weather, because for anyone who's watching for the first time, sorry, this is Vicky Marie Chats. I do chat, and some people like the waffle, some people don't like the waffle, but at the end of the day, it's just me. But yeah, today I'm based in mainland Spain. It's been raining for nearly 4 weeks. It's been horrible, the weather, which is not what we expect in Spain. And today, though, it did rain this morning. And then when I've just dropped number one son off at work, it was beautiful. Again, lovely blue sky. Oh, just perfect, 20 degrees. Though apparently it's going to rain later. But unfortunately, then that brings the flies out. We've not had any flies for 4 weeks. But, they come back when the weather warms up. So you can't have everything, I suppose. Okay. You like the waffle? Yeah, well, you'll certainly get waffle. So let's start listening. And as I say, if I do start laughing, please excuse me. I was like, there's a sort of part of me does feel a little bit sorry for Debbie and Chris. If Debbie wasn't such an absolute bitch to everybody else, everyone else is terrible and doesn't deserve anything, and even people who've lost their child or their grandchild or whatever, they're all pieces of shit, but little Stephan is perfect according to her. That's the only, so it's hard to feel sympathy for Debbie or Chris, because they sort of, well, you can hear in the audio, they sort of, he's their son. And he may be nearly 40 years old, but people are always your children. May have done terrible things, and maybe you still would support them. It's not that, it's the slagging off of everybody else, as if, everybody else is terrible, the things they've done or haven't done. His friends were terrible. Jen's terrible. Jen's family's terrible. But not little Stephan. Oh no, not there, Johnny. He's like, just fell by the wayside. But God is going to forgive him. So, that's why I don't like them. But otherwise, I could feel sorry for them. It's certainly taken a toll on them. They are elderly now, I suppose, but they look older than they are, in my opinion. It would take a toll on you, wouldn't it? Finding out that your son had done something, not even if they don't believe that he murdered Maddie, they know that he did do the abuse. And it doesn't matter what anyone says on those photos, there are no photos of anyone else with Maddie, just Stephan. So it wasn't, they want to think that Jen was involved in it all. She wasn't involved in it, not in the actual abuse. She's complicit in that she's stupid and she allowed it to happen in a way, but she did not participate in it. And trying to say that she did is just plain wrong. But anyway, let's have a look at this first video.
The tone, please say United States of America.
You've got to say United States of America.
United States of America.
Oh, sorry, hang on.
You have one old message. To listen to your messages, please return to the main menu. Press 0 to make a for calls within the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean. Please enter the area code, prefix, and number. To make an international call, please enter 0.
So they have to go through this performance every time, don't they?
Minutes. Press 0 to continue or begin speaking.
With us.
Oh, I don't want to miss the beginning of it. So this is the first call that's been released. This was May the 26th last year at 7:37 p.m.
It's a good time.
Call at no expense to you from
Stephan Stern.
This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, is this a good time?
Yes, I the phone was in the dining room. I was in the office. Didn't realize it was ringing. And the second time it rang, I didn't even hear it ringing.
Oh, okay. How's everything going?
Well, good. Everything's fine with us. How about you?
Well, hanging in there so far. Any news or updates on your end?
No.
No? Okay.
How about yours?
Well,
So he's hanging on in there, bless him. Our Diddums, he's hanging on in there. Poor Stephan.
I got a chance to look at the autopsy reports.
And?
You can't say.
Oh,
Now that's interesting, isn't it? He's seen the autopsy reports. Now they've not been released to the public, but he said, "Oh, I've had a chance to see the autopsy reports." And then Chris whispers he's not allowed to say. Chris, obviously, Debbie then asks him what's in it, so he can't talk about them, but he's seen them. So there you go. This is what his defense will be built on. Whatever's in those autopsy reports, we've not heard. Yet, as far as I know, the full, I think we've been told that she was probably strangled, but I don't think anything has been confirmed, has it? Because of her age, they're not allowed to release the autopsy reports, but I'm presuming in the trial they will come out. But he's seen them. So he's had a chance to think about those autopsy reports and come up with his defense. And during the course of these calls, you can see where his defense is going. And I think that's the reason for that, is because he's seen there's something in these autopsy reports that he thinks he can use to his advantage.
I can't go into too much detail, but raises a lot of questions.
Okay. Well, you don't need to say any more.
Yeah.
Did you get the books?
No, not yet. Did you get notification of delivery?
Now, this saga of the books, for any of you, hi, sorry, I don't like calling you idiot. Hi, idiot simulator. So, sounds awful saying hi, idiot. But you say you've watched these. Do you see the theme of the books all the way through? There are certain themes all the way through these calls. It's so interesting to listen to them one after the other. First of all, the books come up here, and this is an ongoing theme. And I'm not being funny, but I just think, God, how this saga can go on and on about the books. In this very first call, when they said, "Did you receive the books?" and he said no, they should have checked like where they'd sent them and had they sent them to the right place. Turned out, well, you'll see later. Turns out they were sent to the completely wrong address. But it's something that comes up. The books, the glasses, there's just certain themes that come up, and you just, he's commissary. It's all about his commissary and his, what he's getting to eat, and certain themes that go on. Now, I imagine when you're in prison, there's not much lively. He's in isolation in prison as well, so there's not much lively things going on. So I suppose you do get obsessed about what snacks you've got, or this, that, or the other, or what books you've got. But oh my God, just this book theme goes on and on and on.
Okay, well, I haven't received them yet.
So they arrived in one location. They have to be transported over from that location, which is outside of St. Pete, and then over to Kissimmee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
it goes to Seminole, it goes to Seminole, and then from there it's sent over to you. So, as I said, Seminole is over by St. Pete.
Yeah, and who knows how often, they pick it up, so.
Yeah.
And then they have to sort it and check it out and then deliver it to people. So I guess we'll give it another week or so.
If you get a chance, Stephan, I found a chess set that is a mat, just a roll-up mat, but the pieces are made out of silicone.
I still don't think that'd be allowed.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Well, you can't melt the silicone and anything, but okay.
No. You can swallow it and choke on it or whatever,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about.
Yeah, or jam it into somebody's eye, You gotta think about these things. So last time we talked, you had not found my watch, correct?
Right.
When you went into that box,
Now, this is another theme that goes on. He wants this watch. He's obsessed. He wants his watch. Wait till you hear how he tells them where it is and how to find it. And this is what made me laugh, because even Chris, who is his dad and his champion, if you like, he just sounds absolutely incredulous about this. Is a nearly 40-year-old man saying where his watch is. And he talks about his watch a lot through it, and they never find his watch. And do you know why I don't think they find his watch? Is because where he says the watch is, I think they just chucked everything out, and they probably just realised, oh shit, we threw out that purple dragon that the watch is inside. But they say that they can't find it. But anyway, that's later on. But listen, it's just, this is where you might hear me giggle a bit, and I'm sorry, Madeline, it's not disrespect to you. It's just this fucking idiot. Just how childish is this man?
did you see a big plastic purple dragon?
A big plastic purple?
No.
Nope. Big plastic purple dragon?
No.
You were probably in the wrong box then.
Sorry.
Said it was in one of the large boxes at the foot of my bed.
No, didn't see a big plastic purple dragon.
Okay, well, in one of those boxes you will find a big plastic purple dragon, and that is one of the popcorn buckets. And that's not the one I'm talking about. That's just to show you that the popcorn buckets look like other things.
Right. So it's a big plastic purple dragon inside one of the popcorn buckets. But the popcorn buckets look like another thing. Oh my God. This is a nearly 40-year-old man telling his parents what's in his bedroom. That's like a 15-year-old saying that, isn't it? A 15-year-old might say that. Oh yeah, I've got this. Yeah, because we all know. We've talked about it before. We know what boys' bedrooms are like, or maybe girls, depends on who it is. But and there might be all sorts of things. I've had there might be all sorts of things hidden away, like when people are teenagers. But and I'm not saying my son now, who's not a teenager anymore, I'm not saying that he's dead clean and tidy, because he definitely isn't. But just the thought of my son, even he's not even 30 yet, saying to me, oh, well, did you find that big pink purple dragon? And it's inside there. I'd be like, what? He may have things hidden. God, his room, he's not too bad at the moment, but not because of it, because of me. But, it's not got big purple dragons in it. Oh, dear me. It just, honestly, God, I was hysterical laughing, to be honest, first time I listened to this.
But in that same box, you'll see a silvery gray looking sort of box with wheels on the bottom and a brown shoulder strap attached to it. That's the mouse droid. In that should be my watch.
The mouse toy. So there's this. Well, let's just listen to that again. Sorry, I know it's not funny in a way, but it is funny. Sorry, it is funny.
The one I'm talking about. That's just to show you that the popcorn buckets look like other things. You see a big plastic purple dragon?
No.
Nope. Big plastic purple dragon?
No.
You were probably in the wrong box then.
You were probably in the wrong pocket then. And the way Chris goes, big plastic. He goes, big plastic purple dragon. It's like he's registering it in his head. What? Oh, and the other thing that I find interesting, and maybe his brother is in contact with him, because Stephan's got a brother. Has he been phoning him? He never says, oh, give my love to my brother or anything, but maybe his brother is contacting him separately, so I don't know that he isn't. But I'm just thinking about the way Chris goes, big plastic purple dragon. So he's like, what?
Said it was in one of the large boxes at the foot of my bed.
No, didn't see a big plastic purple dragon.
Okay, well, in one of those boxes you will find a big plastic purple dragon, and that is one of the popcorn buckets. And that's not the one I'm talking about. That's just to show you that the popcorn buckets look like other things. But in that same box, you'll see a silvery gray looking sort of box with wheels on the bottom and a brown shoulder strap attached to it. That's the mouse droid. In that should be my watch.
The mouse what?
The mouse what?
Droid. M-O-U-S-E droid.
Okay.
What is a mouse
He
droid?
goes, okay. So he's like explaining it to them as if they're thick for not understanding. He goes, the mouse droid. Come on, everyone knows what an effing mouse droid is, don't they? Come on, Mum. Come on, Dad. Don't you know what a mouse droid is? Everyone knows. You know, who's nearly 40 years old. He's like the mouse droid, and she goes, okay. Oh God. Surely they must have got off this phone call and said, what the F is he talking about? Big purple dragons and mouse droids. What is he on? You know, what nearly 40-year-old has got a mouse droid in their room? And and something else that I want to mention. Now, don't forget, Stephan's room, she said she had to put a hazmat on to go in it, didn't she? Do you remember she made a joke about it? It's disgusting, it's dirty. He's complaining about his cell being dirty later on, or the bed being dirty, or what. You know, he was living in mierda, which is Spanish for S-H-I-T. He was living in mierda in his room, and then, you know, for some reason now he's gone to prison, all of a sudden he's really clean.
It's looks like a little, almost like a remote control car from Star Wars. You can Google it and see what it looks like, and then find the thing that looks like that with a brown strap attached to it. And that should be my watch, though.
Google the mouse droid. Yeah, he spells it out. He actually spells it out. M-O-U-S-E. Google it, Mum. Google it, Dad.
I think we've been through about everything.
All right, purple dragon. All right, well, make a note of that.
The purple dragon is in the mouse droid, but the mouse droid is in the same box as the purple dragon.
The purple dragon's in the mouse droid. How many times does it say purple dragon? And then Chris goes, purple. Oh, sorry, it just made me laugh. I mean, this to me, tells me everything I need to know about Stephan Stearns, which I've always known. He's like a child in his head. He's never grown up. He has never grown up. Nobody has made him grow up. He hasn't even got a job. And, you know, he's got and as you say, David, there's only Jen. And unfortunately for Madeline, Madeline probably thought Stephan was great because he was on her level. He was on her wavelength. I do not believe, and I've said it right from the beginning, that he has abused Madeline in an aggressive way. He's groomed her. It's easy to groom a child. You know, of course it is. He's like a child in his head. And this just shows me even more that this is what it is. The way Jen was comforting him when Maddie went missing and everything, because Jen's been like the mum to him as well. You know, I honestly, she would not have thought that he was doing anything with Madeline, because she thought he was like almost non-sexual, didn't she? Like asexual. She didn't realize what was really harboring in his head. And these kind of people, they look for people like Jen and a daughter. That's why he wasn't interested in Jen, though. Jen, you know, years ago when they first met, I think she did have a lot more about her and that. But as time went on, really, it was Madeline he was interested in. And, you know, unfortunately, this happens all the time. There'll be lots of other Madelines out there, unfortunately, going back to being serious. In the real world, how many Madelines will be out there? and how many Jens and Stephans where this will be happening. Now, what happened with this would have gone on and on and on, but something happened that night that meant that Madeline died. If Madeline wouldn't have died that night, this abuse would have gone on, probably still would have been going on in another 5 years. But something happened that night. And now I'm starting to think now, because since he's seen the autopsy reports, he seems to be going towards this theory that maybe she did it to herself. So it's making me wonder, did he overdose her? Did he get, because he was definitely drugging her. I think he was definitely drugging her. Most of the pictures of the essay, she was unconscious. Was he, and probably 100% to me, or it's likely he was drugging Jen as well. But just wonder that night, did he overdose her? But then, in other people, there's other reports that maybe she died of strangulation, so I don't know. But just made me thought, is he going to come up with this overdose defense, saying she did it to herself? Is it because he overdosed her, gave her too much that night? And maybe I don't think he would have intended to kill her. It definitely wasn't premeditated, because he would have planned it better, I presume. But yeah, did he overdose her? I wonder. Anyway, we'll see. That's what will come out, hopefully, as time goes on.
Okay.
You got that?
Well, maybe I'll find a Rolex too, because we still haven't found that.
I never had the Rolex.
Okay. Where is that blue and white little ceramic box that you had that you put stuff in?
That would have been in storage somewhere.
So he's got that would be in storage somewhere. Where? What do you mean storage somewhere? Where's your storage? So his room was full of crap, basically. I think they've probably thrown everything out. I've done that sometimes in my son's room, thrown things out. And then after not a purple dragon or a mouse droid, but then afterwards he'll say, oh, did you see my earphones or whatever? So there'll be like just those wire earphones, and they're probably in a load of rubbish in the corner. I've just swept the whole lot up and put it in the bin. I think that's exactly what they've done. They've gone in his room, they've cleared it out, and they've probably thrown away the big purple dragon. They didn't know there was anything inside it, because and why was everything hidden inside it? Or why didn't the police find these things? Anyway, so he's saying about a watch. They think it's a Rolex. He says it's not a Rolex. It turns out it seems to be Chris's dad's watch. And Chris can't even remember what the watch looks like. But, Stephan, he's got a value on everything. He's a hoarder. He keeps everything because just in case it might be worth some money and he might need that money one day. That's why, it's so telling. This first one, well, they're all the phone calls, I think, just say so much about Stephan and this dynamic between him and his parents. And, I do feel for his parents. They look terrible, to be honest. I know they're getting older now, but oh my God, compared to how what they used to look like.
Okay, I thought you had it.
No, that would be somewhere in storage. So if you guys cleaned out the storage unit, then you may have come across it already.
Well, listen, we've got a lot of boxes that we're still going through. So
Okay.
And
that's fine.
Well, the boxes we just stuck in the garage. So there's no place to put it.
Well, it'll be in one of those boxes. Okay.
I'm surprised the police haven't been through those boxes, to be honest. But yeah, they've got to go through those boxes. It won't be pleasant because you know what? It's not even, I know quite a few people who've got hoarding problems or have done over the years. Some people are what I would call clean hoarders. They hoard things, but not dirtily. You know, it's like everything's ordered. They, you know, keep them in orderly fashion, but loads of stuff, keep too much stuff. Then you've got other people that I've known that hoard things, but God, the thought of going through them because they'd be disgusting and dirty. But you know what? These things do need going through. They do need going through because God knows what's in there. And why is he's so obsessed about this watch? Now, maybe he wants a watch while he's in prison, but he can just buy a cheap watch, can't he, surely? Why does he want this particular watch? Strange, isn't it?
Anyway.
We'll be looking for it, that's for sure.
Yep, and look for that wristwatch inside the mouse droid.
Okay.
It's in the same box as the purple dragon, okay?
Okay. Definitely look.
Yeah, you see a whole bunch of other like Disney collectibles.
We're having trouble getting any cooperation with the classification people there to get you to sign the POA so we can get the car sold and start a little slush fund here for you for there.
Really?
But,
yeah.
Well, they say because of where you're incarcerated that that can't be facilitated with bringing a document back and having it signed. So we told your attorneys about it, and we told them that we would overnight the POA. They could take it in, have you sign it, and I would include a self-addressed returned overnight envelope so they could just drop it off and send it to us. So maybe you can have that conversation with them.
Yeah, because bringing me documents to sign has not been a problem before. When the media asked for my consent for interviews, I had officers literally bring me a form and ask me if I wanted to sign it for consent or not. So I don't think that's really the issue.
Now you're hearing his passive aggression. Because you get the voice, oh, can you look for that? Oh, that'd be great. And then when he's not getting his own way or he feels like he's not being listened to, he does get much, if you pardon the pun, sterner, doesn't he? He gets much more, and he's doing this now. He's like, oh, well, so as long as everything's going his way, you get the whiny baby man-child voice. But as soon as he feels like he's not getting the answers he wants, you get a harsher voice from him. He's such a passive aggressive, this guy. I hate passive aggression. I'd rather have proper aggression where you can at least you know where you are with someone who's being openly nasty or aggressive. When someone's a passive aggressive, it's horrible because you know it just is. But I've learned to spot them now. They're horrible people.
So the media's reached out and tried to schedule interviews with you, and you
2 or 3 times.
accepted or declined? Yeah.
did you talk to them?
No, I've declined every time.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it wouldn't do me any good right now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, if you could have that conversation with your attorneys, that would be great.
Yeah. So he's been invited for media interviews and he's turned them down because it won't do him any good right now. Well, yeah, it won't. And but who cares? But anyway.
Yeah, that should be able to be arranged.
We got a new copy of your birth certificate for them.
Okay.
Which I was going to bring over for them so I can overnight that as well. So again, have that conversation that I could overnight the package along with the POA. They could take the POA into you, have you sign it, and then we could, and then I would include a return envelope as well, and they can send it back to us.
Yeah. As far as a birth certificate, I guess we would just have that included with whatever my belongings they took into storage when I was booked.
Say that again?
No, I don't know. This is for something that they're doing. They wanted to get your records from Sarasota Memorial and from Irvine, California for the kidney surgery, and both of those have their own forms that you have to sign them because you're an adult. You're no longer a minor. I can't sign for them, but so that's going as well.
Do you have those documents?
Yes, they're in the.
Oh, okay.
What county was I born in? It was Kane County, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we have your birth certificate.
What was the name of the hospital?
I don't know. Is it on the birth certificate?
Yeah.
Does it matter?
I was just wondering if I ever need to find it for any reason.
I just feel as well with him, you know, so you can tell when they ask, when he asks them a question that they don't know the answer to, they go into a little bit of a panic, don't they? Because, you know, they feel like they'll feel this responsibility because obviously he is their son. He's in prison for whatever he's done. And you can feel it. Every now and again, he asks them a question that's like, well, does it matter? Or what's the reason for that question? And they go into a bit of a panic. They don't know what to say.
Well, Kane County would have it.
Yeah. Okay.
So the hospital doesn't have it. Kane County does.
Okay. So I'll just contact the court for Kane County, I guess?
Yeah. So it was like $45 to get this copy of this birth certificate. It doesn't say which hospital.
Okay. But Kane County.
But it has, I'm sorry, Copley Memorial Hospital.
Copley?
Yeah.
With a C or a K?
C.
C, okay. Copley Memorial in Kane County. Okay. Just if I ever need to get that and I don't have anyone to rely on, it would help.
We're trying to get a hold of your attorneys that handled the things when you and Joey got run over. But it's changed so much and the partners are split up, and I think one of them is in California that would be the one I wanted to talk to, but I've called and left him a message and he hasn't returned the call.
Okay.
So we're trying to do anything that they asked us to do on our end, we're doing. And so I don't know. We get pushback sometimes when we ask for information, but
don't worry.
One of them informed me that she was a criminal attorney, not a civil attorney, and getting a POA done was not part of her business.
That was probably Alicia.
Could have been.
Yeah, she's a no-nonsense type.
Well, if she has your best interest in mind, it'd be his best interest to get it done so that we can keep you funded.
Yeah, well, one thing at a time, I guess. If you guys can find my watch, that will be another step in the right direction. It's in there.
There's okay. I just hope that it's somehow that you can really identify it because.
Identify what?
Where is that? What the box?
Okay, leave it on that. We'll just keep looking.
So that's going as well.
You have those documents?
Yes, they're in the.
Oh, okay.
What county was I born in? It was Kane County, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we have your birth certificate.
What was the name of the hospital? Contact.
Yeah.
I had to repeat a little bit because I had to cut a bit out where the dog was barking.
I think one of them is in California that would be the one I wanted to talk to, but one of them informed me and keep you funded.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love to see all those little happy little wagging tails and bright eyes and smell all that puppy breath.
Oh, yeah.
Do you,
Now, so one of the poodles, because you know they're poodle breeders, aren't they? One of the poodles is just about to have puppies. 8 puppies it's about to have. They say, so I bet you'd love to see the puppies and smell that puppy breath. Not really, no, but anyway.
We're studying the Book of Romans. I would love for you to read that.
and Lacey's going to have puppies.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to miss that.
No, see, this just shows what a manipulator he is. He goes, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to miss that. When he was being interviewed by the police, he was complaining about the poodles. Oh, it's so chaotic at my parents' house. There's all poodles everywhere and blah, 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 blah. And now, because he's talking to his parents who love poodles and that's what they do, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to miss that. He is such a manipulator. Honestly, it is evident, it is apparent, his manipulation, how good he is at it. He is good at it. Anyone who thinks they can't be manipulated by someone like Stephan, if that you could have someone in your life right now who's like him, you wouldn't even know.
I love to see all those little happy little wagging tails and bright eyes and smell all that puppy breath.
Oh, yes.
Do you know when your court date's going to be yet?
No clue. Might not be for another couple months. It depends if they even need my testimony at all. Which, I mean, you would hope they would, but, I mean, at some point I assume I am going to see the inside of a courtroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he has seen the inside of a courtroom now. He was in court, wasn't he, trying to get the death penalty off the table and trying to get it on closed court, but I don't think there's been any decision made yet.
Pretty strange trial without it.
Yeah. Well, there's been no news at all. So everything's just kind of status quo from where it was last time. Where have you been for the last week?
Couldn't make a call for a little while. Some of the people that worked the night shift, as I said, are...
Yeah. When he says, where have you been for the last week? What Stephan should say is, I didn't need any money. I need money. That's why I'm here now. Just wait for it, because it's like the call goes on. It's all about, and then at the end, oh, well, if you could put some money in the commissary.
Are not as nice to me. So I've been waiting for people who are. And then, well, I got sick as well, so I've been sick for a few days.
Cold?
Presumably, yeah. I've had a pretty bad fever and a sore throat and some serious pressure on my left inner ear.
Oh, bless goodness.
Yeah, like I said, this place is filthy and unsanitary, and obviously they don't clean these cells before they bring a new person into it.
This place is filthy. Now, I'm sorry, they must be thinking, well, we've just cleared your bedroom out. Your room was filthy, disgusting. And he's there saying, oh, this place is filthy, unsanitary. They must be thinking that, even if they don't say it. Well, I think you can tell a bit with his daddy, he's thinking that.
Did they move you again?
Yeah, they moved me again as well. So I moved out of the room with the ants, and now I'm back into the room with the ants again, too.
Oh, well, familiar friends.
Yeah, they just love moving me, especially around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm comfortable and trying to fall asleep. I think they do it just to mess with me, honestly.
Oh, get the violins on.
That's all they do is and be happy.
Yeah, well.
If that's all,
They could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
So she says, if that's all they can do to be happy. Well, do you know what? At least waking a prisoner up at 2 o'clock in the morning, taking him to a different cell, which might be all they can do to be happy. It's not like abusing an 8-year-old girl, is it, for 6 years or whatever, like your son did, Debbie. She is so judgmental on everybody else, which wouldn't be so annoying if it wasn't for the fact that her son has been doing what he's been doing for all these years, and she doesn't seem to be judgmental about that. Unbelievable. Her attitude is unbelievable.
Good. People have survived a lot worse than this, but
Yes.
we'll see what happens, I guess.
But when it happens,
It's air conditioning in there, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So I've got that at least for now. Although one little room they put me in before was tiny and did not have air conditioning.
Oh,
Or at least the air was not circulating in there, so it was hot, it was stifling, and it smelled like a little dog kennel. I'm glad they moved me out of that.
Did you,
oh my God. Oh my God. You had no air conditioning. Some people, normal people who don't abuse children don't have air conditioning because they can't afford it, Stephan. So, poor Stephan. I mean, he's such a pathetic creature.
you got enough bedding to keep warm at night?
Well, I have one mat and one little thin scratchy wool blanket.
Hmm.
Oh,
No
heartbreaking.
sheets on the mat, I assume?
No pillow, no sheets, nothing.
Mm. Okay. Well, it's not the Ritz or the
No,
Holiday
it's
Inn.
not the
1
fucking
minute
Ritz.
remaining.
Oh, there's the 1 minute warning. God, these 15 minutes go by so fast, just like that break at work. So I'll try to call you back in another 15 minutes, but you know the drill. If you don't hear back from me again, day or two.
Okay.
Okay?
We love you, honey.
Love
All
you too, Mama Bear, but I will try to call you back in 15 minutes if possible.
So
I'll
he does call
be
back.
hovering over the phone.
All right, bye.
Bye. Bye.
So he does call back. We're going to listen to the next one. He calls back.
United States of America.
Menu. Press 0 to $32.20. Call will be 21 cents for the first minute and minutes.
Press 0 to continue or 1 to hear additional.
Hello, you have a call at no expense to you from
Stephan Stearns.
an inmate at Austria.
Oh.
This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking now.
Hey there.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, the guard just let me know that she's going to need the phone back in about 5 minutes. I think someone else wants to make a call.
Okay.
So this will have to be brief. Probably the last one of the night, but I'll push it till she needs it back.
All right. Well, better than nothing.
Yep. So anyway,
Waiting for you to call back was long.
what's that?
And waiting for you to call back seemed like forever.
Turn the light on.
Then it just goes by quickly when you call.
Yep. Same for me. Time creeps by when I'm waiting to call back, and then just slides by real quickly when we're talking there. Just like I said, just like my breaks at work, 15 minutes is never quite as long as you think it is.
Yeah.
But
Hey, how's your eyes? Do you need reading glasses?
if I did, I don't know what kind I would need.
So here's another theme that goes through all these calls. Wait to hear how it finishes up. So he's going on and on and on about these reading glasses. He needs reading glasses. He needs reading glasses. How much are the reading glasses? Oh, I'm going to order some reading glasses. Wait until you find out down the line what actually happens.
For now, they serve their purpose, but even my attorneys noticed at some point that I did seem like I had to kind of squint to look at what I was reading.
Okay.
I think it just depends on how tired
I mean, Chris, he does something, he goes, okay, like that. When Chris goes, okay, he's thinking, right? So he's going, oh, I had to squint at what I was reading. Oh, God. So, obviously he needs reading glasses, doesn't he? Oh, no, apparently not later on. But at this moment in time, he needs reading glasses that are going to cost $2, oh, $3, oh, $12. It's all about the money with Stephan.
I am, how strained my eyes are, all that. But yeah.
What do they have provisions there to provide reading glasses, or what?
Yeah,
Or can you have reading glasses?
You can get reading glasses off the commissary, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why don't you check into that and see which ones work for you? And I guess that's the only place you can get them, right?
Yeah, probably. But that would be a matter of trial and error because they have like 3 or 4 different magnifications. I think, and I have no idea which I would need.
Yeah, so that'd be a matter of trial and error, and I don't know which one I'd need, and you can't try them. You can't try them. No, you've got to buy them, and then if they don't fit you or they don't suit you, you've got to buy another one because just give me as much money as possible for commissary. Oh God, his voice. God. What a horrible man. Oh my God.
We'll try 150, 1.50, and then go to 175, and we'll see which works.
Yeah, I guess I could.
I mean, can you try them on?
I think you have to buy them. I don't think you get to try them. There's no way to make the order and pay for it and then send it back,
Well, what if they don't work? Can you send them back?
He just said he can't.
I don't know how that works. I could ask somebody, but I'm not sure.
I could ask somebody, but I'm not sure because I just want you to give me as much money as possible.
Okay, we'll find out. How much are they?
Like $3 or something like that.
$3?
Something like that. I'm not sure.
What are they, like paper 3D glasses?
They're plastic.
Oh yeah, I'm just being facetious.
Yeah, it could be more. They might be $4 or $5 or $6, something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
So they could be $3, $4, or $6. They end up being over $12, and then he decides he don't want them anyway. He is such a scammer, this guy. I mean, if he thought he could do it with more, I mean, he can't. He knows now he can't ask his dad for hundreds of dollars because his dad would be thinking, "What's he need hundreds of dollars for?" This man has lived off his parents all his life. He's never really held down a proper job. He's lived off his parents, or he's lived off Jen or other girlfriends or whatever. And really, Chris and Debbie, I'm sorry, I know they're his parents and they love him for whatever reason, but I bet if they were talking honestly, they would say it's a relief for them he's in prison, because before they were paying his rent, they were paying his phone, they were paying, as if he was a teenager. These are the things that you do for your teenagers, aren't they? Or for your young adults. You do while they get started in life. You pay those things for them. At nearly 40 years of age, you're not supposed to still be paying all those things for them, are you? And they were contributing towards his rent. If he needed petrol, they were borrowing him a car. Now they don't have to do all that. So it's probably a relief to just be paying $3, $4, $6, $12 for a pair of glasses. But the thing is, this is his manipulation. He can manipulate them because he'll make them feel they want to help because he is their son. So it'd be very difficult, I suppose, for them to say now, especially now, because at the end of the day now, the only people that Stephan Stearns has are his parents, and they're elderly. They're not going to be there for that much longer. If he's facing life, well, he talks about this in one of his audio calls later. They're not going to be there forever. He's going to end up but who's going to care about him? Jen's not going to care about him now, is she? Or I hope not. Anyways, he says later they're not allowed to contact each other at the moment, whether they ever will in the end. I still won't be surprised that he would get round Jen, because he will know how to get round Jen. He knows now, he says later on again in another call, he knows that she's lost her daughter and she's vulnerable. He knows that. He will play on that, and he will try. I think he will try and get around Jen. But whether he'll be successful this time or not, I don't know, because she's in a different position now. But his parents won't always be there, will they? And his brother, I don't know if his brother is even contacting him. Who else is contacting him? Is he getting contact from anyone else? Now, he's probably got a load of fangirls who are contacting him. Because, you get these crazy women who seem to love murderers, who'll be convinced that he's not guilty, or he hasn't done this, or he hasn't done that. Oh, you can bet 100% he'll be getting contact from the murderer fangirl type people, or fanboys. I mean, who knows, girls or boys. But as far as actual people he knows are concerned, It's probably only his parents that are contacting him. So he knows he's going to end up on his own sooner or later, doesn't he?
Check it out.
Yeah, could be even $12. I don't remember. I mean, I saw them, but I don't remember how much the price was.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
How you doing with your stuff that you got from the commissary? You have enough to?
Well, he's fantastic.
Yeah, I've got enough coffee, hard candies, and saltine crackers to last me through the end of the month here.
Well, that's a couple more days.
Yeah, the other snacks kind of went faster than I expected them to, so I think from now on I'm just going to stick.
Oh, so the other snacks went faster than I expected them to. So at some point he starts whinging about the sort of products that are available to him in the commissary. And, you know, I saw a comment on another YouTube channel that I thought that was spot on, is, you know, who's not getting all these treats or any treats whatsoever? Madeline Soto. So she's not getting any treats. He's whinging because of the quality of the treats that he's getting. He'd like this, and he can't have that, can't have a taco, can't get a pizza. All the things he can't get. He's lucky that he's even getting anything, because the person who can't have any treats is Madeline, the girl that he allegedly murdered. Though I mark my words, he's going to come out with the fact and say that she did it to herself.
Coffee, hard candies, and saltine crackers.
Yeah, well, once you get your books, you'll have something to occupy your time.
Yeah. But hard candies, saltines, and coffee, those have seemed to give me the best bang for my.
Okay. All right.
Chips and things like that, the pickles and all that, it just doesn't last the way you want it to.
Yeah. Okay.
It's hard to have just one per day, you know?
It's hard to have just one per day, of course it is.
Especially with the meals like they are, and you know, you never feel full after a meal, so you always feel like in your stomach, especially after dinner, because that's around 6 or 7, and then there's nothing else until like 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
So, and you know me, I'm
well, you've had a lifetime of snacking all night long.
Yeah, well, plus my metabolism doesn't help.
Oh,
yeah.
metabolism.
See, what's really killing me though is my back and my hips.
Oh, his poor back and his poor hips.
The bed.
Yeah, the quote unquote bed. Your bones sink right through and rest on the floor underneath. So, you know, it hurts hips, and then your knees are resting against each other, and it's tough.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
When the lights are on, in these pods and suicide watch and medical, the lights are always on overhead, and so they're real bright. So you try to find a way to block it out, and any way you lay is just terrible.
Yeah.
And you get all the debris from the floor that ends up on your mat and your blanket, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Just really keep hoping that something's going to break in my favor with this trial.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I have to have hope about something, you know. I have to maintain some sort of hope, otherwise I've got nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've always given my guardian angel one hope.
Well, you've been there. You've been there for what, 3 months now?
Yeah, at the end of this month it'll be 3 months.
March, April, yeah, 3 months. So.
Well, like I said, the whole process could take 2 or 3 years before it's concluded. So, and I've already been told that if the prosecution is smart, that they'll drag it out as long as they can.
Yeah.
So, who knows what's going to happen? So, just keep hoping we can find something.
Well, you know, as soon as you get some reading material and we know that arrives safely, then we can arrange for other stuff.
Yep. That will be good, having my own little mini library with stuff that I like to read, instead of just what, you know.
So when they move you from cell to cell, how do you move your stuff around?
I toss it all in my blanket, close my blanket up, fold my blanket up into my mat, and then push it.
Oh, they move you, blanket and mat.
Yep. Typically they'll move me with the mat, but if they don't, I'll take my blanket and everything and just hope that they clean the mat in the new cell well enough. Last time they did not.
Yeah. Right.
I found a whole wad of spit underneath at one time.
Yeah. So you get to well, you should, maybe can complain to management.
No.
Yeah, well, I'll be sure to include it in my Yelp review.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 star, accommodations suck. Food terrible.
Yeah.
Food's terrible, accommodation sucks. Oh my God, as I say, I don't think I'll sleep tonight worrying about Stephan and how he is. I hope poor Stephan, diddums. But anyway, I don't know what it's like now. It might have got better now. God knows where he's been moved to now. He didn't look any different. When we saw him in court, I wouldn't say he looked like he'd lost loads of weight or he'd put on loads of weight, because sometimes you see that with prisoners, don't you? When they appear then in court, you think, oh my God, you can tell that it's had a shocking effect on them. But I didn't think Stephan looked any different, to be honest. Didn't think he looked thinner, fatter, any of it. I think Stephan really, I won't say he's enjoying it in prison, but really he's there. He's on his own in solitary. He's being protected from the other prisoners. He's being cosseted. I think he quite likes that. I think he's a person, some people are very independent and it would just drive them crazy, wouldn't it, to be in prison? I don't think Stephan's a person like that. Yeah, the food's terrible. I didn't notice his hair was starting to recede, but I'll have another look at it, David. Hi, Joanne. Yeah, he's blanky. Hasn't got a blanket. Oh dear. And you know what? All the time, this girl up in the right-hand corner here, he threw her like rubbish out in the field or whatever, by the side of the road as if she was just rubbish. We mustn't forget that, must we? That is the kind of, as much as he'll give over this, oh, I'm such a nice person and I love Madeline, because you'll hear that as these calls go on. He loved her, he's heartbroken, but he just discarded her like a piece of rubbish by the side of the road. Has he forgotten that? Have his parents forgotten that? When I hear his parents talk, I just think, do you know what he did? Right, let's just presume he didn't kill her, which, I don't believe that, but he's innocent till he's proven guilty. Even if it wasn't, he's now saying he found her deceased. He found her deceased. He'll say that as we go on through these calls. Okay, so if this girl that he supposedly loved so much, and you'll hear him go on about her as we carry on, how he loved her, how he was looking forward to her growing up and seeing how she progressed. So he found her dead, according to him. He just found her dead in the bed. So instead of phoning an ambulance, paramedics, see if she could be recovered. No, because he could see, because he's a doctor, of course. According to him, he could see she couldn't be recovered. She was dead, you just know. Well, as I say, this is coming later. I'm sort of preempting the calls a little bit, but it's just that I happen to be talking about it. So instead of calling a paramedic, he put her in the car and took her off and dumped her by the side of the road like a little bit of trash. And they're just accepting it. His mum and dad, oh, right, okay. Oh, my God. So even if it was true that he had found her deceased, even if it was true that she had done something to herself that he insinuates through these calls, is that what you do when you find someone you love who looks like they've taken their own life? You just think, oh, there's no point in phoning the paramedics because I'm a doctor and I can see that they're too far gone. I'll just take them and dump them by the side of the road. It's absolute rubbish.
Well, the idea is not to be there, but but too late for that.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, Stephan, I could never have imagined that we would all be in this situation. I just couldn't. There's no way I could have ever even visualized it. It's just awful.
Yeah, me either, to be honest.
Well, I mean, things kind of went sideways, whatever happened with, so you knew that was going to go down a rat hole.
Yeah, well, I never in a million years that she would not be around anymore, so.
Yeah. So once that went sideways, whatever happened, you know, that was all she wrote.
Yeah, well, you know, I can handle a lot of things.
What's that?
I said, still has not been heard from except for an interview she did with a newspaper where she told everybody that she did sleep with you guys and she said to sleep with you in the other room.
As I was going to say, I can handle a lot of things, but one thing I just can't reconcile or figure out in my mind or wrap my head around is the fact that, you know, doesn't get to live anymore. There were a lot of things that I wanted to see for her, you know. She had another year or so before high school, you know, learning how to drive.
A lot of things I wanted to see for her. Learning to drive.
Figuring out what she wanted to do with her life. I was excited to see where she was going, and I was really impressed with the person that she was finally growing into.
I was impressed with the person she was finally growing into. I wanted to see what she wanted to do with her life. Now, notice when he's talked about that, it doesn't say, I was looking forward to seeing her find a boyfriend, get married, have children. Doesn't say that. Wasn't looking forward to that, was he? Because she was his girlfriend in his eyes. So, you know, now what he's saying, I'm starting to wonder, did he overdrug her and she died by accident? Is that a possibility? And, you know, or was it, I mean, you know, people are saying that she was strangled, but we don't know that for sure. I don't think we've ever had official confirmation of her cause of death. So just making me wonder what the things he's saying in this, is that what he's going to come out with? She did it to herself. And but is it really because he overdrugged her? We won't find out until the trial. Officially, we won't find out, but until then, everybody's got their theories.
Well, got a whole lot to talk about, a lot to own up to.
Well, again, I know you can't talk about this, but it's like it almost sounds like you didn't know something had happened to her.
Well, I discovered her.
I discovered her. That's what he said just now to his dad. His dad said to him, it almost sounds as if you didn't know what had happened to her. And he said, I discovered her. Now, bear in mind, this was May the 26th last year. Whole story might have changed by now. We don't know, because the first trial that will happen, of course, will be about the pictures on his phone, etc. He's got to be found guilty of that because it's all there on his phone. The police have taken the photos of his button mushroom with the distinguishing marks, etc. I can't see how he can't be found guilty of that. And then when he comes to the murder trial, he'll already be a convicted felon, because up until now, to be fair, he has, he's never been convicted of anything. So, that doesn't mean say he's never done anything before Madeleine, of course, but he's never been convicted of anything before Madeleine. But by the time he comes to his murder trial, I just cannot see how he cannot be found guilty of the essay, because, they've got all those videos. loads of photos and videos on his phone that he thought he'd wiped off. And also, they've got the photos of his button mushroom to compare with the button mushroom that's on the photos. So, what does he think? So, is he thinking? But the thing is, even that offence is a death penalty offence. Even that offence of, you know, all the S abuse against children, that's a capital offence in Florida. So I don't know what he's hoping to achieve. When you listen to these calls, he's still talking as if he thinks some miracle's going to happen and he's going to get out or be found not guilty. But how can he think that? How can he think it? Yeah, I think he's delusional, Laurie.
In the state that she was in after everything was said and done. So, I mean, obviously I can't get into detail, but no, I was not aware that she had passed on. As you know, I'm up and down throughout the night. And
right, so listen to this because it's very important. So he's saying, I was not aware that she'd passed on. I was up and down through the night.
I was not in the room the whole time.
I was not in the room.
I mean, it's not like you just suddenly feel someone's ghost pass away from them. You know, it's a discovery. And
So she wasn't even in the same room with you?
well, I mean, she was in the room that I started in, but you know, I'm up and down throughout the night, and I tend to wander around the house and fiddle around on my phone and step out front.
Yeah. So she was in the room that he started in, according to him, but he's up and down through the night. So what he's going to try and say is he popped out, well, he says for a couple of hours at one point, and when he went back, she was just dead. Just there, he doesn't know what happened, according to him. So that's one defence he's going to have, as far as the murder charge is concerned. But it's interesting, really, because it doesn't matter in a way about the murder charge, because if he's found guilty of the other offences, he'll still get life and possibly the death penalty for the other offences. So what is he trying to achieve? Then, of course, the next thing that's going to come into play is the car accident or the head injury that he had when he was young. That's going to come into play. His anxiety, he's probably got ADHD, autism, all the usual things that everybody says they've got when they're just a twat. These days, honest to God, that is just the standard excuse for everything, is it? Oh, yeah, I didn't mean to do it. I've got anxiety. I've got ADHD. Oh, I'm autistic. This is such an insult to people that really suffer with those complaints. But that's going to come into it as well, isn't it? But seems like the current thing, because this was a year ago, God knows what he's saying now. But what he was saying to his parents then is, it wasn't him. He wasn't even in the room. He left the room for a couple of hours. He went back and she was dead and she did it to herself. That's where he's going.
Feel the nice cool night air and all that. So I was gone from the room for, obviously I really can't get into too many details, but
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't discover what had happened until just around dawn.
Yeah, liar.
Okay. Interesting.
Because I discovered that she was ice cold.
Well, all I can say.
Well, you see how Chris goes, So he says, I discovered she was ice cold, but I didn't ring the paramedic or anything. Oh, no. I just thought, oh, she's dead. Oh, what shall I do? I know, I'll just toss her by the side of the road. Or was he on the way to throw her to the alligators? Because, this is another thing that people are thinking. He was on his way somewhere else. He was just lucky that he got that, that his tyre burst. He drove as long as he could, and when he couldn't drive any longer, he took this girl that he claims to love and threw her by the side of the road like a piece of rubbish. He didn't phone the paramedics, see if they could bring her back. you know, if you presume that what he says is true, that she'd done something to herself. So I am starting to think now, did he overdrug her? Did he overdrug her? Because he'd obviously been drugging her for years. Did he give her a little bit too much? In a later video, audio call, he says she was acting weird that night. And now probably what he means by acting weird is he tried to, you know, do something to her and she wasn't interested. You know, when people say, oh yeah, they were acting a bit weird, what they mean is they weren't doing what I wanted them to do. So basically, you'll see as this goes on, what he's saying is he left the room for a couple of hours, according to him, came back and she was ice cold. She was dead.
Stephan, is that my heart breaks for you because I know that's something that you never would have done and never would have wanted to have done to her. And
right.
neither would we.
Right.
I'm angry on your behalf that it happened, and I'm angry that you got dragged into it by them. So
Did you hear what she said then? She said, I'm angry on your behalf that you got dragged into it. He did it. What is wrong with this woman? Honest to God, there's times when I sort of feel a bit sorry for the parents, because it's not nice to think that your son is a psychopath who's murdered a 13-year-old girl and been abusing her for 6 years. That must be a shock. But then when she says things like that, I'm angry on your behalf because you got dragged into it, she just cannot accept that he had anything to do with it. Even, this is what I'm saying about denial. Now, when you watch this, you can understand why Richard Allen, in the Delphi case, why his wife doesn't want to accept, or won't accept. She knows 100% that her husband killed those girls. He is Bridge Guy. There is no Bridge Guy. Bridge Guy is Richard Allen. She knows it. We know it. But she can't accept it because denial is so strong. So strong. And hearing her say things like this is just an insult, I think.
just angry.
Was there anybody else at the townhome that was not a regular person?
No, which is why I keep saying that I'm not sure that there's any one person, honestly, to blame. But they're certainly trying to blame me. And according to the autopsy report, like I said, raises a lot more questions. But
this is not one person to blame. Everyone's trying to blame me. That's because you're to blame. You are to blame.
they seem to be settling on trying to say it's homicide.
Yeah, it is. That would be because.
Okay.
Has something to do with
Now, did you hear Chris again then? What I've found about Chris in watching these videos, a few times that I've watched them now, when Chris really wants to say something to Stephan like, well, it was, he goes, Now, there's a video coming up. Well, we'll just watch this one. Then I've got to go and have some lunch, but I'll be back with the other videos. When Chris says, when she's not there, when Debbie's not there, Chris's attitude towards Stephan is different, definitely different, and he's less. There are some times where Chris, I just think, oh, for God's sake, Chris, are you mad? But there are other times where he does tell Stephan straight what the situation is, but not when she's there. Now, and I do, honestly, God, I swear to God, I have so much sympathy on the realm of she is a mother. That is her son. She brought him into the world. She's in this, she doesn't want to believe that he's capable of what he's done. She's so like Ted Bundy's mother. Ted Bundy's mother was exactly the same. And when in the end, Ted Bundy confessed, because she stuck up for him for years. Oh, we've got this perfect family. It's all fabulous. Everything's fantastic. And eventually Ted Bundy did confess. And when the police went round to Ted Bundy's mother's house to say, well, we've got something to tell you, your son has confessed to all these crimes, she collapsed. And then she just recovered and said, anybody want apple pie? Because that's how her mind works. It's just like you don't want to face something, block it out, forget it's happening. Denial. That is her, Debbie. Chris is not quite so much in denial, though sometimes he is. You can hear sometimes he fastens onto something because nobody wants to believe that their child is capable of what Stephan Stearns has done. And I honestly do understand that. But when you've got all that evidence, come on.
Bones in her throat. But take that to mean what you will.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But you know, I would never have done anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the same person that cried when I asked you to dispatch a little bird that broke its neck or something and was flopping around.
Yeah, you know, same person that cares about people, cries at movies.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, I care about people. I've cried at movies, he's saying. She's going, yeah, I know. You're the person who cried about the little bird. Yeah. He'll have cried about Madeline. I don't think, whatever he did to Madeline, I do think it was, he didn't mean to kill her. I do think that. Maybe in that, because he was enjoying Madeline. He was having a great time. He even says it himself. Oh, I was looking forward to this time that we're going to spend together. Whatever happened between him and Madeline that night, it was either an accident where he overdrugged her, or, you know, maybe she didn't want to do whatever he wanted to do. She's thinking she's 13 now. She's not going along with this anymore. It was an instant. I don't think it was a premeditated thing. But he still did it. It doesn't matter in a way because she's still dead, bless her. 13-year-old girl on the threshold of becoming a woman. So I do believe that. I do believe he cared about Madeline in his own sort of childish, twisted way. And I don't believe he would have done it deliberately. But something happened that night, something. And he did it. He's responsible.
And then there was Skippy.
Skippy, yeah. Rue.
Jaybird.
Jaybird, yep, I remember them all. Burying them was very hard for me.
Yeah.
And
all I know, Stephan, is when I look at a picture of you and I look into your eyes, I don't see a monster there. I don't see a bad person there. I see my son who I love.
Yeah, she doesn't see a monster. She doesn't see a bad person. She sees her son who she loves, which, fair enough, he is her son. She'll always love him. You'll never change that. But you still have to accept. You can still love someone, but still accept that they've done something bad. You know, not blame it on everybody else. And I could feel sympathy for her for saying that if it wasn't for the fact she's so down on everybody else. You'll see in videos we'll watch later, oh, his friends are jealous. Everyone's jealous of him. Everyone's a bad person except him. If she was a person who just, didn't think anyone was a bad person, I'd have more sympathy for her. But no, everyone else is a twat, but just he isn't. And she's supposed to be a God-fearing person. But the way she talks about Jen and Jen's family and everybody else and his friends from when he was at school, they're all twats. Obviously, Jesus doesn't forgive them. They only forgive Stephan.
That never will change.
Well, thank you. And I know that I'm not a bad person or an evil person or a monster.
No.
You are, Stephan. You are.
But you do need to dive into the Bible head first and stay.
And you know why he is an evil person and a monster? Not even because of the murder, which was probably an accident one way or another, but because for 6 years he was. Let's have a look at this little girl. Yeah, this is why you're a monster, Stephan. This is why you're a monster. Because for 6 years you were abusing this little girl. And that's how little she was. when you came into her life. That's why you're a monster. This is Madeline Soto, a little girl. That's why you're a monster. And when you finally killed her on this day of her 13th birthday, you'd already been being a monster for 6 years. So it's not about what you did on that day. It's about what you'd been doing to this little girl for all that time. I'm starting to get angry now. It's like, fuck off. You're not a monster. Of course you're a monster.
In it, because you need grace. You need God on your side as a warrior on your side.
I keep asking him to help me through this somehow. I know that
And you still don't have a Bible?
I have a Bible. I have a King James version.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's all about God now. I was asking God to help him. Ooh, well, God probably will help him because God and Jesus, they do forgive anyone. But if he's genuinely sorry, do you think he's sorry? I don't think he's sorry. I think all he cares about is what's happening to him.
Well, we're looking into getting your large print Bible. So I want to make sure that this delivery gets to you, and then I can order one from the publisher and get it to you, large print, so you won't need glasses.
Well, hopefully it does. We have no idea how often they pick it up or how long it'll take to get here and get sorted and get delivered, if it does at all. But I haven't received any written notification of anything being returned yet, so.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll judge it from there. And so we'll just make sure that we're timing this right. So the Bible will occupy the majority of your time.
Yep, I keep praying to God for help, for some kind of miracle. I mean, I know I've probably run up my divine.
You need a miracle. You definitely need a miracle, but believe me, you're not going to get it.
Credit as far as miracles go, with my guardian angel and God working in overtime to keep me alive as long as they have. But I keep hoping for one more big miracle, one big salvation. And
have you got some way to keep a journal of notes that you would take from reading the Bible?
I can get a pad of paper off the commissary, and I can get more pens and stuff too. I think my commissary is about -$10 by this point. But
yeah, you can. Now that's important later on in things. I can get a pad of paper in the commissary, but it's in negative at the moment. Please put some money in the commissary. But do you know what I find with Stephan? This is what I talk about of how manipulative he is. He doesn't actually say, put some money in the commissary. He sort of said, oh, well, if you want to put some money in the commissary, that'd be great. That's how manipulative he is.
I know I can get a pad of white ruled paper off of there.
Okay. So do I need to replenish the commissary yet, or wait?
If you want to, yes.
If you want to.
But I'm not going to use it on snacks, just on essentials for now.
All right, how much do I need to put in?
$50.
Okay. All right.
It's going to be dropped out of 40 like immediately.
$50 if you want to, because he makes it all seem like it's his dad's idea. So $50, and you'll see next time we listen to a video, he does buy that pad. Does a pad cost $50? Come on.
Okay.
We're about to get cut off.
Just about out of time.
Yep, I'll talk to you later. I love you both.
I love you. All right.
Sorry.
Okay. So, of course, it's took me an hour and 40 minutes to get through 2 15-minute phone calls. Sorry, that's Coca-Cola. It always repeats on me. So I'm going to finish there. I've got to go and eat something. I don't know if I'll be back later tonight. It's Saturday, isn't it? Maybe not, but I'll definitely be back tomorrow. I've only done 2 of the audio calls. There's 13 altogether. So, and when I finished, actually, we're going through them, commentating on them. Please leave your if you're not watching live now. if you're or if you're a lurker, or if you're watching on replay crew, hi. Don't forget to leave your comments. What do you think about it all? And I'll be back with the other 11 phone calls at some point. It's just so difficult not to comment, you know, but then after I've played all the 13 and we've commented on them, I'll be uploading them just without commentary so you can listen, because they're worth listening to more than once, because every time you listen to them, you get a little bit more of this passive aggression and this manipulation, and you start to understand a bit more why maybe Jen was manipulated by him. Now, you know what I think about Jen. I don't think she's the mother of the year, but I think this guy, he can manipulate anybody. He saw Jen come in. She was, and unfortunately, it's Madeline who's paid the price for that. But I think now Jen, even he says in a further video, even he expresses sympathy for Jen. It's not a very good thing, really, when you've got Stephan Stern speaking up for you, I suppose. But he's going to be back onto Jen at some point. Anyway, I'm going. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Yes, Annie, you can. You can shove the Bible where the sun don't shine. Oh, dearie. I'll see you really soon in the next video. But look, what's really important is don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave your DNA on the like button. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, as always, may your God go with you. And rest in peace, Madeline, of course. And, oh gosh, I haven't even got a candle handy, but I'm going to put a virtual candle up. Thank you, David, for the candle. Let's see, I've got a candle here somewhere. Yeah, let's have a, this is my favourite picture of Madeline. I know it was from, look at her little face, so cute. Let's light a candle for her. So I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you, as always. Bye.